Get well soon, Daniel. Welcome back to SPRC for round number 4 of the championship here at the Japanese Grand Prix. My name is Indigo, and it's been nice to be back around here in Suzuka as well for the 18-minute qualifier session here for round 4, and I think it's going to be a 28-lap race or 26-lap race around here, or 27. I think it's 27 because there is 53 laps divided by 2. That's 27, I believe it is. But yeah, nice to be back around here in Suzuka, the land of the rising sun, albeit it is quite cloudy here, so we could see some rain on the horizon. It was forecasted for rain, as Nat Packers told me last week, but anything could change around here. We have seen wet races around here, especially back in 2022, when that was a good race between Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez when they went side by side, and Leclerc missing out and got a 5-second time penalty due to going off the track and cutting Perez off. So the first man out of the garage is Wyken in P4 there for the Williams, as last week's race winner at the Miami Grand Prix was Rosé, and he's won 2 out of 3 races so far, so he's on a charge and the man leading the championship then, 146 points ahead of Dusty Fakes by about 39 points ahead of Dusty Fakes. Wingish, the ILT driver in P3, and the Sauber driver to Delano in P4. Delano scored a podium last time out at the USA Grand Prix in Miami. He finished in second place. It was a great race for him in the Aston Martin. Crossfire Strikes finished in P3 despite having a broken end plate. We saw him crash at turn number 7. I believe he's one of those drivers got the soft compound tyres towards the end of the race, but nobody can match Rosé, as he's the man to beat so far, and has been the man to beat a few seasons ago as well, because his pace has been formidable. Nobody can seem to match him as well, especially in Season 2 and Season 3. But here in Season 4, can anybody stop him? The Jamaican driver is on absolute form so far. He won the race by 5 seconds last week on Thursday, but we'll see what he can do here at the Japanese Grand Prix then. So we are watching the Williams driver of Wyken and P4, and I apologise if I do say his name incorrectly. Just correct me on that one, and you can excuse me there. So here we are then. We're going to go on board with the Williams to see what he could do. He didn't appear at the Miami Grand Prix, but we're going to watch around here with a 5.6 kilometer circuit. It's the DRS, the only DRS on this track on the main straight. You can't put it anywhere else because it'd be dangerous, especially before 130R. So as we head down towards turn 1, he lifts off going down into 1, locks up into 2, taking a wide angle to get a good run out of it, using the curb on the outside to get the maximum run out of here as we go towards turn 3 and turn 4. So this looks like a very cautious lap from Wyken, not really attacking the limits of the track, because already I can see that the first 2 corners he took it cautiously as well. So I think it is down with Wiz from Nat, says Natalie Porter. Down with Wiz. As we come towards the first Degner and the second Degner, we've seen a lot of people crash out there too. Heavy crash before there, I think with Heikki Kovalainen when he smashed into barriers there too, and Sebastian Vettel, and a few other people having their own problems. Out of the hairpin, when we saw Carlos Sainz crash here back in 2015 in his Toro Rosso, and also spun out of the hairpin too, which ruined his race, and it was too wet on that occasion too, so they had to red flag the race for a hefty amount of time. We're coming to spoon when we saw Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel make contact there in 2018. Vettel fighting for championship, and a bit of a twist there for Wyken on the exit too. We saw a massive crash out of here. I think it was Valtteri Bottas who crashed there in 2017 when he crashed at the Mercedes on that occasion in free practice. As we head towards 130R, we've seen that fantastic overtake from a Fernando Alonso back in 2005, I believe it was. Coming into the corner in 1989, where Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost made contact there, as Wyken will return to the pit lane or go for one more lap, because he has invalidated there at the chicane. It will catch a lot of people out. You will attack all the curbs there going down towards the final 2 corners. I believe a Sauber, that could be Wingish there for ILT, is coming around the final 2 corners now. This is realistic. Remember, he spins the car and into the pit lane he goes there. So drifting back into the pit lane on not how he wants to end his lap at all. Z2 in the McLaren will be the first driver to cross the line to set a lap time of a 1:29.1. So there is your reference points then, and that is the time to beat set by Z2, as the rest will come across the line very shortly. We've got his McLaren teammate just further behind, which is Curry in P10, but I think he's going for his first flying lap then. So let's see what the McLaren driver has to offer there. He was finished in P19 at the Miami Grand Prix. He retired, unfortunately. It was a difficult race because it was wet conditions. A few people started on the Inters, and a few went on to the wet compound tyres, and it turns out the Inters were the best to start on, as the wets could only last for 4 or 5 laps because the rain eased off during that period. But we did have a safety car towards the end which jumbled up the order and changed the whole trajectory of that race. As we come towards the end of the first set for Crow, it's a 32.3. Wisburn and Pinkeye now goes towards the top of the time sheet. It's a 28.9 for the Williams driver as we head down towards the hairpin for the McLaren, as we've seen a few people have their own problems down there. Sergio Perez as Rose sets of a lap time of a 1:28.1, and he puts a bit of distance between himself and Pinker. That's 0.8 of a second then, so the Jamaican driver is on an absolute charge once again. And here we are coming towards Spoon. Very nicely taken indeed. Nice change of direction. No signs of the back end of the car stepping out for him as he continues down his short straight. No DRS member on this straight, only one DRS zone around this racetrack. It's 11.9. I believe somebody's gone for a spin at the end of Degno 1. Is that Mokalai? No, it was probably, who was it? I think it was a Williams driver. Could it be Wyken? Nope. Who it was at the time? Was it Pink Eye? Probably Pink Eye. But we go back on board then as Mokalai goes up into P2 in the Alpine. Cross the line goes Curry. He's completed his lap with a 28.8. And I do get confused on the track map because the different colours there. Sometimes I think the Red Bull's the RB, RB's the Red Bull, or the Williams. Are all similar colours, of course, and the Alpine too. So it doesn't really help with the little bit of difference in colour there. My eyesight not being the greatest either, even though I'm very young. So my eyesight is going dramatically. Stravazza, the Indian driver, here he is then towards the end of the middle sector in the Haas. I believe he also had some difficulties in the last race as well, was the Haas driver as he makes his way now towards the last few corners we go. He didn't take part back at the Miami Grand Prix. I think his last race was at the Singapore Grand Prix. He finished 16th on that day too. But here he is then as he crossed the line now. He goes up into P7 with a 30.3. So we've got a mixture of gaps in the field there. Wyken coming towards the end of the middle sector. As let's see then what the Williams could do. He was taking it cautiously on his out lap, or flying lap, his first flying lap. But let's see then the Williams pushing on to explore the track limits around here and see how much risk he could take with these corners. The curves catch you out very easily too. He's got to be very wary how much curve you could take, especially in the first sector. It's a 7th place with 30.0. You can't really ride the curbs unless, of course, you've got the downforce to do so, because it will drag you off the track and throw you into the gravel or the wall then, as Mokalai there is in P2 with a 28.5. The Finnish driver, who had a very good race, I believe, with Rose back at the Singapore Grand Prix. He's headed back into the pit lane, is Mokalai. I could be getting confused with another league because I've definitely mentioned his name before, but I could get confused with other names around here because I do multiple league races. I say that I do multiple leagues where I commentate, and there's some familiar faces such as Wingish and Crossfire too, because Crossfire raced yesterday in a league race and he crashed out second place. Don't want to embarrass him too much, but here he is in the Haas complaining about understeer, as the Haas can be very difficult on the front end there, with the balance not really suiting his driving style. Coming towards the end of the second deck to then get a bit twitchy out there, but nevertheless still makes it out of the corner as we head down now towards the hairpin for Crossfire. Finished in P7 at the Singapore Grand Prix and also finished in P3, so he's racking up some good results here for his championship charge. He's currently down in 6th place and he's only 6 points behind Skills Dan as well. Skills Dan is not here unfortunately because he is ill, so he might lose a place towards Crossfire. And now Packers and Pink Eye, if they could get a decent result. Pink Eye, I remember the Singapore Grand Prix when he chose the wrong strategy. He opted to stay out there, elongate his hardcore pad-tie strategy, which didn't work in the end because he left it too late and therefore couldn't catch up towards the pack. Here's Crossfire in the middle sector with a 12.2 as he makes his way out 130R, which is flat out now in these Formula 1 modern day cars. As we head down towards the hairpin we go. See how much curb he takes. A bit of wheel spin on the exit too, as he grabbed a lot of curb towards the last corner. Here he is across the line. It's going to be a 29.0 for him as he pops himself into 6th place. There's a good stuff in there for Crossfire, but definitely can improve on that with those small mistakes. Dusty Fakes goes up into P3. I know Alpines were very close last time out at the Miami Grand Prix and contact was made as well. I don't know what happened to Dusty Fakes there, whether he chose the wrong strategy or not, or something else happened, because he was running competitively inside the top 5, but both Alpines had a bit of a moment there. And Wisburn says unacceptable on that, so I think that's a dig towards Wisburn there. And Wisburn is a P8 with a 29.9, 8/10 separating him and Z2 in the McLaren. Here comes Maverick now as he makes his way down towards the final 2 corners, down to 2nd gear, scrubbing off all the speed, short shifting to reduce wheel spin, and nicely taken there from Maverick. And let's see what his lap time is. Where he's going to be rewarded up to? It's P8, it's a 29.2 and a 10th behind is Z2 in P7 then. So there are your initial lap times. Alpine looking very strong in P2 and P3, but the strongest of all is Rose in P1 there with a 28.1 as a pole time. Very strong indeed from the RB driver, looking for his 3rd win in a row. He didn't win in Abu Dhabi because he had a 3-second tyre penalty, and Mulcahy finished in P1 there for the opening race of the season for the Aston Martin driver. Both Mercedes haven't set a lap time. Neither has Wingish, has gone on board with the man from Finland then as he makes his way now towards the end of the middle sector. We did see Crossfire do a 12.2. It's 11.8 there for Wingish in the Sauber, so that might put him into P4, P5 area, depending on how much time he can find in the last sector. Here he is, coming towards the final two corners then, locks up on the entry, nips the curbs very nicely there, as you want to take a right amount of curbs, try and gain as much time as you can out of the exit. Here he is, across the line, goes up into P2. That's a very good out time there for Wingish, with a 28.4 there. I think he was challenging Rose, if I was not mistaken. He finished in P4, so he's had 2 races in Singapore in the past week, and I'm getting muddled up between the 2 races there because he finished second on one occasion and fourth on the other occasion. For this league, he finished in P4. Mulcahy is 2/10 up in the middle in the first sector there, so that's a decent improvement already, especially for the first sector. As we make our way down towards the hairpin, we go straight line of braking. You want to take a late apex through here to get the run out of the corner, which is very important indeed, to get the high line out of there, to get the most time gain. And you want to take a short distance here as well, try and get as close to the white line as you can before we flick our way in towards Spoon. I see plenty of people look at the steering input he has to put in there, carrying the speed there, slowing the car down, back on the throttle immediately, using the curb on the outside too. That's a very nice run out of Spoon there for Mulcahy as he continues up towards the hill, towards the end of the middle sector. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 12.4. He's 7/10 down, but it looked like he was on a lap tire. He turned his EOS off, so that explains why he's 7/10 down there. What happened to him? Did he feel like that wasn't a good lap time? Did he feel like he could improve there, or did he make a mistake? He didn't invalidate, but Curry is 4/10 up in the first sector, so let's go on board with him to see what he could do in the McLaren then. Only a few hundred separates him and Dusty Fakes in P4 as we come towards the end of the middle sector now for Curry. It's going to be 11.5, 3/10 quicker in the middle sector, so that could put him up into P2 depending if he can find more time in the last 2 corners. So let's see how brave he's feeling. Taking a lot of curb on the entry towards both corners there as he negotiates it very nicely, carrying the speed, no signs of the car stepping out. As we cross the line now for Curry, it's a 28.5, and he did lose a bit of time in the last sector there to Curry. Puts him into P4, he splits both Alpines and demotes him down into P5 as Dusty Fakes. As Pinkai, here he is in the Williams as we make our way out to Spoon once again for him. Currently a few hundreds up in the first sector. Pinkai has got some potential pace, but he keeps making these small mistakes. I remember in Miami when they made that big mistake, and unfortunately he crashed out of the race, and he was up there inside the top 5. He was up there in Singapore as well, but went for the wrong strategy. But what can the CPI man do as we enter the final 2 corners, or exit, sorry, the final 2 corners I should say, as we come towards the line now for Pinkai. He comes across the line to go up into P5 with a 28.8 in the Williams. If I remember correctly, Rob Kubica had an incident here as well, as Rosés are currently a few hundreds down there in the first sector, really wringing the neck of the RB, trying to extract a lot of performance out of the car. And we head down towards the hairpin, then down into 3rd gear we go, taking a cute angle, goes to the corner, but still gets a good exit, good release, and no signs of the car stepping out there. The car and driver working in harmony together, and that makes up a really great a combination as well between the 2 drivers, well, between the car and the driver. Locks up going into Spoon. Don't really see a lot of lockups going down there, especially not a heavy braking, so you just want to lift off slightly and get the run out of the corner as we make our way towards the end of the middle sector there for Rose. Let's see if he's up or down in the middle sector. He's down, unfortunately. That's 2/10 slower than his previous best. A few mistakes, but he can rectify that with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on the clock. And we'll see who else there. We've got Crossfire on a lap time, exiting Dunlop. That's where Logan Sargent crashed in 2023 as we come towards the end of the first set. So look at that, 2.5 tenths up, or just over 2.5 tenths up there. So very nice for Crossfire as he locks up going down into second Degner, but won't affect him too much as we go down towards the hairpin now. Deep on the brakes there, the car just moving slightly on the braking there, as we can see. Doesn't get the exit he needs, went a bit wide, and I compromised him just a bit too on the exit with wheel spin, so preventing his progress. And Bloodpool, got to be very careful how I say it because I might get confused with Deadpool there. But as we go towards the end of Spoon now, in 5th gear, but it goes out wide, and he did complain about understeer the Haas when a few hours ago when I was talking to him, and unfortunately that lap time is ruined. What could it have been? But I think he has enough time to get back in the pit lane and slap on another set of soft compound tyres then. So the hope is not lost yet for Crossfire, as he needs to try and rectify that. Maybe the front end of the car just not responding, working to his liking whatsoever. It is realistic, remember, so the Haas doesn't have the best race balance as we've seen this year so far. It does kill the tyres easily, but that was back in 2023 when the Haas really killed his tyres. They had good qualifying pace, we've seen from Hulkenberg regularly reaching Q3 in 2023, but when it comes to the race, the Haas just drops down like a stone because of the tyre wear. Eating his tyres too much, and that's what Haas worked on this year. Their tyre management has been really good so far this year, especially with Hulkenberg as well, with Magnussen being his rear gunner and holding people up, especially back at Miami. And I remember at the had it in my head a few moments ago, now it's gone. Where was it? Saudi Arabia, there we go, because I think Magnussen rejoined, Hulkenberg rejoined ahead of Magnussen when he was predicted to rejoin well ahead of him, but Magnussen held up the train. And even when Magnussen held up the train and crossfire strikes, does validate the exit of the second Degner, so once again making a mistake. He does find time, but he just can't seem to hook it up, unfortunately for him. It must be so frustrating then knowing you have the pace, but I don't think he's going to get in and out quickly enough to try and get another lap time on the board, so that qualifying could be ended for him. He hasn't got enough fuel to go for the lap time as crossfire strike, so I think that could be the end of qualifying for him. So P7 at best, minimum P16, but now Packers is down there P16, not set a lap time just yet. Same with Bloodpool in P15 there, so I'm not quite sure if now Packers has a qualifying ban. There's Dylan in the Red Bull then as he goes towards the S's, as he carry a lot of speed through there, but messes up the entry towards turn 6 and now compromised him all the way up the hill, and he'll lose him a whole heap of time as well for good measure. Our main competitors are on an outlap then, so this is the dying stage of qualifying. All these drivers will get one more run before qualifying is concluded then, and we'll see who can take pole away from Rose. Can Rose himself get inside at the 27s there in the RB? Tremendous stuff indeed there for Rose. Maverick is a few hundreds up in the first sector, so who is he aiming for? Trying to get himself inside the 28s, but he messed up his line going out the second Degner there, so he will lose a bit of time as there's yellow flags popping out everywhere. As we exit now the hairpin, there's a Red Bull off the circuit, get out of the way, so hopefully he can get himself back on the track. As we make our way now towards Spoon, let's see how he takes it. As we make our way now towards the fast two corners where Vettel and Verstappen made contact there. And Vettel in his championship year losing out to Lewis Hamilton, unfortunately. His last win for Ferrari in 2018 was at the Belgian Grand Prix, and unfortunately for him could not win anymore. And Maverick takes a bit of grass on the outside there. He's 2/10 up. In the middle sector is the Ferrari driver as we go down towards the final two corners. So despite a few hiccups now and then, there's a big hiccup now for him. I was about to say he was improving, but he might have lost the time there in the final two corners, and he does peel off into the pit lane then. So that concludes his qualifying session. And let's go on board with Wingish now, as he's just further up the road in comparison to Dusty Fakes. So we watch Wingish first, and then we'll watch Dusty Fakes afterwards to see what they can do. As we carry the speed through fifth gear there, just experimenting on the throttle, when to see he can get back on it again. As we now make our way towards the end of the first sector for him. Is he up or down? Let's see. As he's currently up by 600ths of a second there. Really carrying the speed in the first leg. They're slowing it down in the second part as we exit it with a bit of overtake as well, as we head down towards the heavy breaker zone, towards the hairpin. This can be really difficult, especially in the race as well. It's a slow speed corner, heavy traction zone, and we might see a few people have wheel spin as well at the corner with heavy fuel, and also breaker traction could be a problem too, especially with these cars. Maybe locking up could be a big issue as well. I had a real big problem there when I kept locking up the rear tyres. I had to adjust my brake bias forwards to make sure I minimise the locking on the rear to make my fronts lock up more, if that makes sense. Adjusting the brake bias there to try and load the pressure on the front or rear, depending what you're suitable for. But usually in qualifying, you want your locking up to go rearwards because you carry more speed to the corners, and also with a bit of sliding as well, it can really gain you a lot of time, if that makes sense. I didn't really explain it well, but I'll explain it later on. As Zeta goes up into P2, that's a 28.2. Great lap time for the McLaren driver. Here comes Wingish now, stays in P3, but does improve on his lap time. Dusty Fakes is coming towards the finish line now. Where can he end up? It's P6 ahead of Pink Kai. Pink Kai is currently a few hundreds down the first sector, but where is Rose in the RB? There he is, as he crosses the line now. It's a 27.9 for him, and the first man to break inside the 27s then is a Haas behind us, cross the line of Stravazza, who stays in P13 there. Mulkalai is 3/10 up in the middle sector, so where can he go for? Is this going to be P2, or can he try and beat Rose's lap time? As he crossed the line now, what's it going to be for him? A 28.0, 2 more tenths out in the last sector as all the drivers make their way towards the line. Where is Pink Kai? Pink Kai is the last one to cross the line. Here he is then as he goes up into P5, and the qualifier session is done. So, Rose, the only man to break inside the 27s, once again displaying something tremendous pace, I must say. Surprised he's not in an esports team. I've known, well, I don't personally know him, but I've seen him around quite a long while now, and he has got some good pace under his belt. So I'm surprised no esports owner has picked him up. Maybe I'll give ILT a call, or CPI, if they need him. No results then showing for the screen. We get straight down to business. There was no formation lap either, so we get straight down to racing. It is a dry race, but will we see any wet weather influence this race like we did back in Miami? It was a wet start back in Miami, but it did get dry towards the end with a late safety car appearing. Sorry. I thought it was raining for a second, but my eyes are deceiving me. We're just waiting for the lobby to sort itself out, then we can get racing underway. Can Rose extend his championship lead ahead of Dusty Fakes in P2? Because Wingish is only 3 points behind Dusty Fakes. 107 points for Dusty Fakes, 104 for Wingish, and 100 for Delano. So it's very close there between P2 and P4, separated by 7 points. Skills Dan, unfortunately, is not here. Get well soon, Dan. Is P5 in the championship in the Alpine. Crossfire is in P6. We've seen his great pace so far, so we could display Skills down. Nat Packers in 7th in the Mercedes, who scored inside the top 10. Big Kai in 8th place, who we know had a good result back at the Miami Grand Prix, the Singapore Grand Prix, sorry, but could have been more if it wasn't for the wrong strategy, and also retired in Miami and finished in 8th at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Maverick in P9 inside the top 10 with Wisburn on YouTube. Obviously, not every single driver's here, so a few people might fall down the order. Luckily, it is dry, because Nat Packers told me last week that we might have some wet weather here, as we always do at the Japanese Grand Prix. I remember the 2014 race when Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg went side by side down into turn 1. That was amazing. I think Rosberg, did he jump Hamilton off the start? I can't exactly remember, but Hamilton later on hunted him down to take the lead of the race and won the Japanese Grand Prix here too. And also, we've seen championships won here as well, because those drivers like Verstappen, Schumacher and Vettel as well, who gained so many points towards the first half of the season, easily won around here at the Japanese Grand Prix. But that won't happen anymore, because the Japanese Grand Prix is like the 4th or 5th round of the season, so no championships will be won at the Japanese Grand Prix anymore. So no formation lap then, we get straight down to business, and let's see what happens when the lights go out. We are underway for the Japanese Grand Prix there. Looks like the top two getting an even start there with the McLaren and Sauber going side by side. There's the Williams there. We make it 3 abreast going down into turn 1. We go to Sauber out the inside. The Williams and Pink Kai swoops around as the McLaren backs out. We go side by side into turn 2. Pink Kai has made up 2 places. What a great start for him. Further in the background, we can see the McLaren and Alpine going. Crossfire taking advantage there of the Alpine, who got out of shape, and Crossfire got away safely through as well. Up into P7 he goes, and further behind we can see that there's a multi-car battle there with Nat Packers, Maverick and Wisburn on YouTube all scrapping away there for the minor places inside the top 10, but of course you do score points from first all the way down to last. So points is crucial no matter where you finish, even in last place. There's a Ferrari in the background there going out wide. Crossfire is right to the back. He's trying to go around the outside. Into the hairpin we go. But the Haas maintains the inside line and stays in P6. There's a nice attempt there from Curry. So that was Curry who tries to go around the outside. The other McLaren, but stays in front of him for the time being. Crossfire is in a McLaren sandwich. And let's see the tyre compounds then, because usually on the formation lap I get to explain what tyres they're all on. And the vast majority except one, which is Nat Packers, going on the medium compound tyres, and the rest are the hard compound tyres. And I've got some information to tell you as well, because I did do a race around here in Japan, and the hards are so durable that you can do all the race on the hard compound tyres. So that's why these people are doing mediums, because once you go on the hard compound tyres, that's when you'll feel the grip. As Mercedes and the Williams, they're getting very close out to the final 2 corners, as we can see Stravazza going out wide there, gave the place up towards the Mercedes of Jay Hartnell, puts himself into P13. The DRS is enabled there. Mulcahy is sticking on the back. Are we about to see an overtake? Somebody did pull up the stream there, but I don't think they're going up the inside into turn 1 then. So, Mulcahy, P2, right behind Rose, the finishman, putting pressure on the Jamaican there with Pink Eye in P3. Pink Eye getting a bit squirrely out of the corner. The car just moving around in the corner slightly. Maybe he took too much inside curve there. You want to be very wary how much curve you take in the first sector, because it can really throw you off the track and catch a lot of people out. You carry so much speed in the first and second deck now. It's so easy to go out wide as well, especially with all the tyres. But Crossfire right to the back of the McLaren. Is he going to go down the inside again or around the outside? He can't do it. The McLaren defends again, and this time Crossfire gets a better exit. When he dare try one up the inside of Spoon, he's willing to risk it all on the first opening up of the race, but you've got to be very careful not to break the DRS. As we go down towards Spoon, Crossfire stays behind him. That's 2 attempts there for Crossfire, but I can't get past the Haasman. So we've got to stay behind it for the time being. But Z2's got to be very careful now not to break away from this DRS, because in the first half of the race you want to settle down and use each other for DRS before you go into the second half, and that's when you want to be fighting as well, because once you break the DRS, as from experience from plenty of times in league racing, it is so difficult to get back in there because the leading pack is pulling away and there's nothing you can do about it whatsoever. So Rose, has got a lot of company right behind him. He's the leader of this DRS train from first all the way down to 8th, because Maverick is out of the DRS range. The gap is 1.5 seconds between himself and Dusty Fakes there. He's got Wisburn going around the outside into turn 1. That's before he made the corner. Lovely stuff indeed. And he puts it, or does he put himself into 9th place? Because the Ferrari is looking to get back, but he can't quite do it. Just squeezed on the outside there. We saw Alex Albon and Liam Lawson make contact there earlier in the season. Sorry, it was Liam Lawson and Daniel Ricciardo made contact as well on the first opening up of this race, which caused the red flag at the Japanese Grand Prix. But after that, it was just a pretty boring Japanese Grand Prix. It was Verstappen, Perez and Carlos Sainz who first, second and third. And McLaren, despite being strong last year in the Japanese Grand Prix with a double podium with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, could not capitalise the year after and get a podium. So the gap is 8 tenths now between Mokalai and Rose. So Rose is stretching his advantage as much as he can to break the DRS range, of course, but obviously don't want to use too much battery as well, because if you're low on battery, it'll really compromise you later on in the race as well. Crossfire putting the McLaren still under pressure, but still can't find a way through in this DRS train. He's looking for lunges up the inside of the hairpin, where I think Perez tried to go up the inside in 2012, but ended up spinning out of the Grand Prix. And also back in 2023, when he went up the inside of Magnussen and spun out too. Kobayashi was the king of late breakers there in the hairpin. We've seen plenty of moves from him. Here he is then. Look at this. Why can go up the inside is the chicane. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Great momentum out 130 yards to carry the speed, have the confidence to get shoved across the grass there, but still made the move. And Dusty Fakes is right to the back of the Alpine as we head down towards turn 1 we go. I thought the McLaren driver would wander off the track there, but stays on it. He's got the Alpine all over the back of him, which is Dusty Fakes, who's looking good in the championship, is the Alpine man. The top 3 then getting ever so close. It's very hard to break the DRS unless you've got pure pace. There's only one chance to break the DRS this game, which is 1 lap. But in 1 lap, a lot of things go on there, which is quite difficult to break away from the DRS. Usually, the way I approach a race is try and gain as many places as I can. If I'm not starting from pole, try and gain as many places as I can and try and stay in the midfield or stay in the DRS train, because after that, you're just following each other throughout the whole race. I had a race around here in Japan, and I was stuck in a DRS train throughout the whole race. I only made one move, and that one move put me on the podium because an early safety car came out, people pitted, and usually when the early safety car comes out, a lot of people pit to go on a new tyre to take towards the end. But some people didn't realise that tyre could go towards the end, but you have to pay the price, because my tyres were 90%. The safety car came out on lap 6. I took the hards all the way out to the medium side, because I did a hard to medium strategy as it was in the last game. And I took the tyres all the way to the end, and on 90%, one more lap, they would have blown up. But here comes the Williams then, thought he would look for a move. That's Pink Eye looking to go for an overtake. And Pink Eye did do a race around here in another league, I think commentated over, as his teammate overtakes Wisburn, goes a bit deep though in the corner, might allow the Sauber to go through. Here comes the Ferrari now side by side with him. It could be 3 abreast. Crossfire though is close to the back of the McLaren. In the background, we can see the battle continuing in this midfield. Maverick ahead of Wyken there, and the Sauber stays behind for the time being there. So despite that mistake, the Williams only lost 1 place there. I thought to get swapped to the straight, but it turns out he probably used his battery in defence mode to try and stay ahead of the Sauber behind. Now Packers is also running in the DRS there, but she's on the hard compound tyres. The advantage will start to come to her later on in the race when these mediums start to wear out, because the mediums are not really a great race tyre. Neither is the soft. The hard compound tyres in any single race on the track, other than Silverstone, Belgium, are a good race tyre, and Zandvoort too. because they're so durable. They don't drop off dramatically like medium compound tyres do, because once the mediums go, you're sliding all over the place. And here comes Wyken now, up the inside into the hairpin we go, but can't find a way through. The door is shut in his face as Wisburn takes advantage as the door's open for him, and he puts himself up into P10. That's a great battle going down there for 9th and the lower end of the top 10. Been separated. The gap is 6.8 seconds now, but Pink Eye is ever so close. Here we are then, as he muscles his way through into 130R, takes away second place, and that's a fantastic move there from Pink Eye. Now puts himself to fight against Rose in P1 there, so Rose could be under massive pressure, controlling this train, with Pink Eye doing an excellent job there, taking advantage of Mulcahy. They're all low on DRS, low on battery, sorry, as you can see there, 22, 14, 19, etc. So they're all using a bit of battery in attack and defense mode to pull away from each other. Crossfire looks like he's got great pace, but he's stuck behind the McLaren. He didn't really have a clean lap in qualifying. I thought he dropped down dramatically with only one lap on the board for him, one representative lap time. But so far so good for the Haas man, just stuck behind the McLaren of Z2 and the ILT man of Wingish in P4 there. But Wingish was struggling out of Dunlop. He's 9/10 behind Mulcahy, so this train could break with P4 being attached. It has broken, but only momentarily. So Wingish is under massive pressure now as he finds himself out of the DRS train, as Corey finds himself off the track. Here comes the Haas. Oh, it's Crossfire. Will he dare go to the inside? No, he doesn't. He looks there, but he knows there's no chance. There's Dusty Fakes also trying to go around the outside in the hairpin, but can't quite make the move stick. And once again stays behind the McLaren driver. Both McLarens doing well in P5 and in P7. But didn't particularly have a good race back at the Miami Grand Prix, did Z2. Oh, there's a spinner down there. That's Bloodpool, who's gone for a spin, and the DRS has been broken then. So these guys need to leapfrog Wingish in order to stay in this battle for the lead group. There's the leaders in P1, P2, and P3. And here's the rest of them. You can see that Wingish is derating. Will Z2 dare try to go over the inside? No, he won't, as he stays behind. This could be a classic DRS overtake, because Wingish on this lap goes a bit deep. He does not have the DRS on the back of Mulcahy. Oh, the McLaren spun! Oh, that's a massive shame, and he has to go in the pit lane too. Oh, what a massive shame there for him. He did not want to pit, obviously, but he had no choice but to pit, because otherwise he'd go into the wall if he tried to steer out of it. So a spin turned into a pit lane error. I remember in Austria where I spun at the final two corners and I had to go to the pit lane. Here comes Wisburn and Maverick side by side as the Haas Sauber goes off the track there and has to go on the gravel, unfortunately. So I think Wisburn will argue that Maverick did not give him enough room on the inside and we got forced to go on the outside. It's a shame there. So now Z2's pitted, and not his ideal strategy, and he's rejoined on the P15. But the benefit is the hard compound tyres can go towards the end, so there's no need for a two-stop. Bloodpool is also the pit lane, the man that caused the yellow flag momentarily, as Maverick picks himself up a second time penalty in this race. And there's a yellow flag again. Is that Maverick who's gone for a spin? It is. There's the Ferrari who's stranded in the wall, and the VSC has been deployed as he breaks his rear ring as well for good measure. So he got points at neutral, trying to find reverse, and the Ferrari gets going again with a broken end plate. VSC has came out to slow things down. Of course, the first time the VSC was introduced back at the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix, when Max Verstappen hit the back of Pastor Maldonado, which caused the VSC, and Lewis Hamilton lost the victory on that day too, because he pitted on the VSC where Rosberg and Vettel didn't. And we all know it's difficult to overtake in Monaco, so we couldn't get past those two. Into the pit lane, interestingly, comes Pink Eye and Mulcahy. So those two are pitted, taking advantage under the safety car. Is this a bit too early? We're about to find out then if this strategy is going to work for them. Rose's been left out there on the medium compound tyres, so I expect an undercut from the guys that pitted. So Rose is going for his normal strategy, just extending the stint for a few laps, have the best tyre life towards the end and then make a move. Crossfire and Curry have stayed out there. Now Packers obviously staying out there on hard compound tyres, because the mediums will be absolutely scuffed towards the end of the Grand Prix. The safety car, or the VSC, is taking a while there. The VSC doesn't really stay out for long, so Mulcahy and Wingish on the hards can go towards the end of the Grand Prix. DRS has been enabled then, and we can get racing once again. And let's see then what the strategy will be like towards the end. Who has the best strategy? Will it be Rose, or will it be the guys that pitted under the first VSC? It is usually a good time to pit around there, maybe like 12, 13, but the hards could still go towards the end. They still have tyre life. They don't drop off dramatically like the medium compound tyres do. They'll be quicker than the medium runners right now. What's the gap to leader between those two? As the Ferrari has gone for a spin again. Is that Maverick? It is Maverick. So both Ferraris there not enjoying not enjoying the 8-figure track of the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's a safety car! Bloodpool, or is it Maverick? Maverick has caused a safety car. He's lost his wing there. And that is bad news for Mulcahy and Wingish. They're looking to jump Rose once he makes his pit stop. But of course, with a safety car, you have to deal with the delta. The race distance is increased, of course. Your race speed is increased, or your race time there. So Rose can jump in the pit lane and rejoin in comfortably ahead of Mulcahy and Wingish then. So not ideal for those guys that pitted on the VSC. The pendulum looks like it was swinging towards Mulcahy and Wingish. And Pink Eye too, sorry. I forgot about him in P5 there. But Rose this time of the pendulum swung towards him, and he could pit onto a new hard, and I think he would definitely rejoin ahead of Pink Eye. Where is Pink Eye? There he is. It could be nip and tuck, between those two. Here we are. Of course, under the VSC, you don't lose a lot of time. So yeah, Rose has been jumped by Pink Eye, and here comes Mulcahy. So he's been jumped by those two. What about the Sauber there? Nope, he doesn't. So actually, Pink Eye and Mulcahy had an advantage, because I forgot as well that under the VSC, your race, the pit lane loss is not severe, because obviously the guys who stood out there will have to adhere to the delta. They're not going at full speed. So yeah, that's one thing I forgot about the VSC and the safety car. So it equals it out just a bit. But of course, Rose has lost the lead of the Grand Prix. He's on one lap fresher tyres though, but that won't make too much a big difference. So Pink Eye now is the effective race leader, and now Packers the outlier in P1 as Maverick is cutting corners under the safety car there. And now the safety car has came out, ladies and gentlemen. I will take a short break, and I'll be back with you very shortly. I don't really take short breaks, but my voice is going. By the way, guys, for those who don't know me, I do commentary every single day. So I've got to talk a lot for about 2 hours straight, including podium interviews. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. So I'll see you all soon. Any questions, pop them in the comments, and I will answer them shortly. In fact, I'll rejoin back. I don't really take a lot of breaks. I had to keep it going and consistent without awkward pause in the stream. So, yeah, the situation so far in this race that the VSC came out, Pink Eye, Mulcahy, Wingish pitted along with other people, so they could effectively jump Rose. And then the safety car came out, and Rose got jumped by those two. So it has worked in their favours. I thought that Rose would join ahead, but it equalised it out just a bit there. Pink Eye and Mulcahy had a bit of time to try and close on Rose whilst he's on the older medium compound tyres. But the F1 24 season is back. When is it? 20th of October or during that period? We've had a long break since Singapore and USA. I do miss the F1 action, and there's only about 5 or 6 left to go. 5 or 6 races left to go. And I do believe that Verstappen will win the championship, but McLaren will win the Constructors' Championship. And what a season it's been so far. 7 different winners this season. Piastri, Leclerc, Hamilton, who else as well? Having 2 wins their name each, where Sainz, Perez and Verstappen, the only 3 winners of 2023. But this time, 7 different winners here. But Perez is not on that list, even though he's in the top car. I think, what's the last race he won? Was it Baku 2023 when he won the last Grand Prix there? That's probably going to be his last win, because the Red Bull's underperforming, and we know Perez is struggling in the Red Bull then. So we could have 8 different winners if Perez upped his game, but unfortunately not. When was the last time we had multiple winners like that? Was that 2012? We had like 8, 9 different winners in the first race or so. First one was Button, second one was Alonso, third was Rosberg, fourth was Vettel, fifth was Maldonado, sixth was Webber, seventh was Hamilton, eighth was... yeah, I think it was 7 different winners, then somebody won again in the 8th Grand Prix, because I think it was the European Grand Prix, and Alonso won again, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap. Here he is then, the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap, and we get racing once again. Obviously the last time the Japanese driver stood on the podium was here in 2012 with Kamui Kobayashi finishing third in the Sauber, defending from Jenson Button at the time. It was Vettel, Massa and Kobayashi on the podium. It was a great drive from Massa because 2012 was really a bad season for Felipe Massa, and he picked up his first podium in, I think it was the Japanese Grand Prix and the Brazilian Grand Prix too. Here we are towards the end of lap 10 then. So now Packers is the leader of this race, and we've got a bit of a gap already between P6 and P7, and here comes Pink Eye up the inside. Oh, we almost lost it into turn 1. Pink Eye has been overtaken again by Nat Packers. Almost lost it again. Those tyres are really cold. He's pushing really hard, and Mulcahy now is going side by side with him. They're ghosting inside of each other, and let's see who wins in this battle of the ghost here. Pink Eye carrying more speed to the corners, and he just wins in that battle in P2. So he's got to attempt an overtake again on Nat Packers there, but that was so scary there for Pink Eye because it could have been the lead of the race, but unfortunately he messed up his line going into turn 1 and turn 2, took the inside curve. They're all bunching up because Nat Packers on the older hardcore power tyres, but this is now a move inside the hairpin. Double locks up going into the hairpin we go. Nat Packers trying to stick around the outside, but has a better exit on them hardcore power tyres. So Pink Eye once again will have to try and go for a move. Look at Crossfire now. I think he's side by side with Wingish, which he is, as we continue this battle going down towards Spoon we go. Nat Packers is staying in the lead of this race. Did a good job last week. I finished inside the top 10, but Pink Eye almost lost it, and here comes the Alpine. Here comes Rose now. This could be a 3 abreast moment, but Rose is boxed in. We're going side by side with Mulcahy and Pink Eye as we make our way now towards 130. Here we go, and they're carrying the speed, full throttle, and they still remain side by side as we head down towards the final 2 corners. In the chicane we go. This chicane has a name, but I can't remember what it is. Is it Triumvir? As we make our way at the corner again. Pink Eye really is losing traction there, getting the throttle way too early. Those hardcore power tyres are not good with warm up, but here comes, look at this, 3 abreast now with the Alpine, RB and the Williams as we head down towards turn 1. It's a double overtake. The Williams swoops around the outside there, trying to remain ahead of Rose as we go side by side of the corner. The Alpine now muscles way through. Pink Eye is down into P4, Rose is in P2, Mulcahy is in P3. What a double overtake there from the RB driver. That's very clean. Usually 3 abreast to turn 1 does not go well whatsoever, but those guys made it work. Professional racers, and now Rose is taking advantage there of Nat Packers. So from P4 to P1 in a few corners time, not bad whatsoever, but crucially, these guys have got to get past now. They can't afford to lose the DRS because Nat Packers is in the way. Pink Eye had to go for the overtake, but he can't find a way through. Nat Packers shuts the door. Mulcahy gives her a tap on the back there, and we exit the corner. Crossfire now is involved in this battle. The Williams loses traction. Pink Eye's on the grass there, and now he's lost another place towards the Haas. It's all gone wrong for the Williams driver as he desperately wants to overtake Nat Packers, but every time he did, lost traction, massive wheel spin, and now he's being shuffled down into P5 with Wingish. Oh, Nat Packers has dropped backwards there, and that's going to be a salt in the wounds there for Pink Eye. Wants to overtake as quickly as he can, but he can't do it because Nat Packers is defending well. She's obliged to defend, of course. She's not a bad marker, but sometimes it can be frustrated. As racers, we always say, why are these guys defending so much? Because we're all racers and we all want to do our best for ourselves. But from a commentator's point of view and as spectators, it's understandable, of course. Here comes Crossfire now, moves himself up into P2. So Crossfire, who was stuck towards the back end of this DRS train, now moves himself up into P2. Another potential podium here for the Haas man. Look at Elite Frog, second place in the championship. Crossfire taking advantage of all the drivers' mistakes there, especially Pink Eye as well. It's a shame for Pink Eye. But those hardcore power tyres, sorry about that, those soft, medium, hards under a safety car did not warm up quickly enough. So I think Pink Eye was already pushing the limits of the tyres there before they got into working temperature range. However, there's a midfield scrap with Curry ahead of Wyken, and Wyken probably went wide at Dunlop and allowed the McLaren driver through. He's squirming at the exit too with oversteer. Oh, Pink Eye, did he make contact with Mulcahy? And he's lost the car once again, has Pink Eye. And through goes Dusty Fakes, he's up into P5 now. Pink Eye a bit optimistic there, needs to, yeah, he's just pushing the limits of the car and needs to bring those tyres up to temperature as well to figure out how much he could push on those hardcore power tyres initially before they work. He should have overtaken that Packers into turn 1, but he took too much inside curb and lost the rear end, and he kept squirming away, didn't he, did Pink Eye? These mistakes, you look back and think, why did I do it for? But at the same time, you're under pressure. You know you got a big stake, because if he did get ahead of that Packers, he could have pulled away from the rest of them and broke that 1 second range of DRS. And now he's right behind Dusty Fakes as well. Rose has got a gap of 1.3. What if Rose's always in the right places at the right times? Whenever something's going off around him, he just capitalizes and goes through. And now he's broken the DRS between P1 and P2. Can Crossfire get himself in the DRS range of Rose? Crossfire strikes, was fighting for P2 last time in Miami, but he broke his wing, but still came back strong once he pitted for a brand new set of soft compound tyres, because the safety car did come out and helped him as well towards the end of this race with other people on the medium compound tyres. So it got a bit scrappy down there, but Pink Eye is now towards the back of this train. That Packers is shuffled into P7. The safety car came out at the wrong time for her. She's looking to go from hards to mediums, but she would ideally love the safety car to come out later on, about lap 16 or 17, to put on the medium compound tyres. Could still work in her favour if there's another safety car, of course, but you got to be at the right time, the right place. It's uncontrollable when a safety car comes out and somebody... Oh, safety car! Well, I jinxed that one, didn't I? So a safety car has came out at the right time for Nat Packers there. Say the words, the safety car comes out. So let's see then what happens now. Nat Packers will definitely pit to go with those hardcore power tyres. It's a no-brainer. What a coincidence that was. But this brings Crossfire back into play, because Rose looks like he had the better pace over the Haas, and the gap was about 1.3 to 1.4 seconds. So now the pack is being bunched up once again. I don't think these guys are going to pit, are they? No, they're not. They shouldn't pit. It's too early in the stint, and plus you lose track position. Now Packers, I expect to pit, but the rest, maybe in the midfield, got nothing to lose. Pitting up to about a set of meters, why can they're uncontrollable go inside the pit lane there? So, another safety car has been brought back into play with Z2. The McLaren driver was running so well. Oh, there's contact there. The safety car catching a few people out. People losing wings, and there's a spinner too. That's Pink Eye. And did Crossfire lose his end plate? He has. Oh, that's a shame there for Crossfire. I say the safety car works in his favour, is bringing the pack back together. Wingish is now up into P2 in a Sauber. But another messy safety car situation. I've seen this before. I was involved in this myself when I was the leader. The safety car was right there in a blind spot. Hit the brakes and I had people smashing up my rear. And caused me rear wing damage too, unfortunately, when I had to retire. So things like that do happen. I hope Rose hasn't got any rear wing damage either, because that could be detrimental to his race as well. So the Williams, that was Pink Eye who spun around. He's safely through in P6. Dusty Fakes up into P5 now. Taking advantage of him. How's Mulkalai? Is he okay in P4? Has he broken his wing? Trying to have a look, but this is a far away camera angle. It looks like his front wing is intact, but the Alpine of Dusty Fakes has lost his end plate, I think. Has he? Yeah, he has. Right front end plate is missing there for Dusty Fakes. Is Wingish got an end plate? Is he wingless? Let's have a look. Nope, he's got his front wing intact there, has the Sauber driver, but Dusty Fakes and Pink Eye swapping places. Pink Eye, luckily for him, hasn't lost his wing. Let me go back and watch that moment there. Some people unaware, but here we are then, a few people in the pit lane. Crossfire, and of course in the pit lane as well. Who is in the pit lane? They're dropping down like flies, so I can't really tell as my eyes can't keep up with that. But anyways, we've got a few people out of the way now. Now Packers is now into P6. Where did she start? She started down in P11, so she did set a lap time towards the end. I thought she started down in P16, because that's the last time I saw her, but she must have creeped up to P11 after qualifying, or during the end of it too, on her last potential flying lap. We only saw her once on the track. Well, I didn't see her at all because she was in the pit lane, but Nat Packers has really benefited from this, and like she did in Miami too, taking advantage. She's up into P6, and on the medium compound tyres, the highest medium runner in P6, catching the rest on the hard. So this could get really interesting now. How many places can Nat Packers end? This medium compound tyre can go towards the end, and the safety car helping to minimise the distance on these mediums, keeping the tyre wear to a low. And we'll see then, this could be an interesting second half of this race as well. The two Finnish boys are Mokalai and Wingish up there in P2, P3. Pink Eye's still there, by the way, after all his problems in P4. He only spun under that safety car, he did break his end plate, and the guys who did break their end plates are in the pit lane, which is Crossfire and Dusty Face. Crossfire, unfortunately, getting involved in contact there. But you've got to have your wits about you. You've got to be aware 100% at all times, even under a safety car. It sounds silly crashing under a safety car, but these things do happen. Ask Roman Grosjean about crashing under a safety car. Baku 2018. And he thought Ericsson hit him. No, he didn't think it was hits us. George Russell as well, I remember him crashing out of a safety car. He did it at the 2020 Imola Grand Prix when the safety car came out. Can't remember why it came out, but I think it was because of Verstappen who had a puncher, didn't he, on the hardcore bar tyres, and Russell crashed and gave Raikkonen 10th place, and obviously Williams need those points because it was a very bad car. I don't think Williams scored points in 2020. Russell scored points, and Crossfire Strides got a 10-second penalty. Russell scored points because he had one race for Mercedes in Bahrain Sakir when Hamilton had COVID. That's the only reason why he's got points on the board. But other than that, it was a dreadful year for Williams, and 2019 as well. But look at that, more contact. These people need to pay more attention. And here we are for the safety car restart. Then Bloodpool's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, and now Wingish is under massive pressure there from Mulcahy. Mulcahy pulls out the Mercedes, looking for a way through. That's Williams, sorry. As Pink Eye goes around the outside into turn 1, Cardo on the inside. He'll do it around the outside into 2, but he can't quite make it stick. Zetu's dropped towards the back end of the field. Ericsson hit the safety car this race, did he? Did Ericsson hit the safety car? The last time I remember someone hitting the safety car was at the Brazilian Grand Prix when... Who was it? Was it Nick Heifeld? I can't remember who it was. It was a long time ago. No, I don't think it was Nick Heifeld. It was somebody else. It's a familiar name, a very popular name. But Nat Packers has picked us. Oh, there's a crash! And that's Wingish, who has lost traction there. The exit of the second Degner. Took too much curb, lit the tyres up, and now Wingish is our contention for Grand Prix wing. So the main runners who are inside the top 5 are dropping down now, and Curry's up into P4. So there's a great drive from the McLaren driver, and Raikkonen's up into P5. Nat Packers has been dropped into P7, so she's lost 2 places there. Although she's gained 1 more due to the expense of Wingish there, so she dropped 3 places, and now she's back up into P7. So Raikkonen is the highest medium runner in P5. You could take advantage of those medium car compound tyres, so maybe get a podium if you can. But Pink Eye is right at the back of Mulcahy. Rose has been the cleanest so far. He's done a fantastic job getting himself out of trouble under that safety car period, but he can't help it if people smash into the back of him. Look at this though. Crossfire, who gets a oversteer on the exit, and he overtakes Stravatza, his teammate, as the DRS has been enabled on this lap. So Curry and Jay Horner also takes advantage of the Haas. Here we are, a multi-car battle. Here comes Dusty Fakes also up the inside. Stravatza. Oh, Pink Eye's lost the place. He's spun. Pink Eye has spun and lost his wing. Oh, there's contact there between the Alpine and the Williams. They've both got a track there. There's plenty of things going off there. The Haas and the Williams making contact, and that is Stravatza who has lost the place. So plenty. Oh, there's McLaren also going off the barriers too. So I'm not quite sure what's going on the circuit there. Oh, that's a Haas as Crossfire strikes. He's back up into P7, putting pressure on Nat Packers, gets more speed on the corner. Nat Packers has broken her end plate, and that's why Crossfire is all at the back of first. We go down towards the hairpin. We go. Can he make a Kamui Kobayashi send going down in towards the hairpin? Bloodpool is dropped into P13 now. He was at the back of the field, but he's up into P13 with a penalty. Goes a bit deep into the hairpin. Goes on the grass, I think, but we want to keep an eye on P2, P3 and P4 to see what they're up to. Wisburn on YouTube doing a decent job so far. Haven't mentioned him so much in this race, but Crossfire is now side by side, almost side by side, but Napak is using the EOS in defense mode to keep the Hassman at bay as we go down towards the 130R. Pink Kai used their battery. He's going to try and go around the outside into the hairpin. That's Wyken, sorry, has the inside line for the next corner. That's so close. That's respect between those two. Going side by side in the final two corners there with Wisburn on YouTube. Kuru could get absolutely swamped with 3 abreast again. And here comes Wisburn on YouTube. Puts himself up into P4. And here comes Wyken. And Wisburn on YouTube is now up into P3 for a net podium. As Wyken there got very close to hitting the inside curb and losing the car. Being wiped out by the Sauber closing the door, which is his racing line. Because he was ahead of the apex. The 2 Mercedes going wheel to wheel. Jay Hartnell around the outside now and gets past Nat Packers. Dusty Fakes also goes through, puts himself up into P8. So Nat Packers, as you can see, evidently struggling in the first set because of a lack of net play there. And Crossfire Strikes, look at that, can carry more speed to the corners. Kuru's on the hardcore powered tyres, he's going to struggle with those guys on the mediums, but Rose remains unchallenged. Here we are, that's the grass in the wheel there, but still around the outside, locking up the brakes, and he's going to try and go around the outside with better tyres. He does. Great move. That's a very risky move because he could easily locked his rear brakes up and spun the car. Great commitment and great corner speed through there. Great car control too to go with it. Up into P5 he goes ahead of Curry, who's lost his end plate, I think he has. Has he lost his end plate? I can't quite tell from this camera angle. Yes, he has. He has lost his end plate, so explained why he struggled. Here comes Wyken now, puts in the pressure on the Sauber, puts himself up to P3, and Crossfire Strikes is all over the back of this battle. Mukalai seems like he's unchallenged in P2, but he could be under pressure from the medium as well behind. Dusty Fakes is well behind Jay Harnell too for the battle for P7. The man that broke his end plate during the second safety car. Crossfire Strikes has set the fast up of the Grand Prix. Here comes the Sauber now, overtaking the Williams. Will Crossfire Strikes? Yes, he will. Around the outside into turn 1. Can he make it stick? As he has the outside line again for turn 2. He has better tyres, but can't make his way through just yet. They're on the same tyres, of course, but Crossfire Strikes has more pace, and he has the outside line converted to the inside, and he puts himself up into P4. So great battling there from Crossfire Strikes. Can he get another P3? Although he does have a 3-second time penalty to his name. So once he does overtake Wisburn on YouTube, he has to get past him immediately and pull a 3-second gap if he can. Will it be a challenge though? There's 7 laps left to go in this race, so time is running out for the Hassman as we go down towards the hairpin. Later braking, he does it, but does Wisburn get the switch back? Crossfire Strikes has the better exit on the outside line there, so he's able to cut back in and stay in P3. Dylan and Wingish are exchanging positions. Where is he? He's got off the track. Unfortunately, that's a very odd place to spin indeed. That's before the entry towards the corner. Wisburn, his teammate, is right behind Crossfire again. Can Crossfire catch Mulkalai? There's a bit of a gap forming between Mulkalai and Rose. Once again, Rose, he's just controlled this race. No matter what has been thrown him in this Grand Prix, he's always responded, always been at the right time, in the right place at the right time. I would say a lucky man, I'd say a very cautious man. Keeping out of other people's incidents, doing a superb job as always in the RB, looking for his 3rd win in a row, as he missed out in Abu Dhabi, as he had a 3-second time penalty. I think Mulkalai was the one that won the Grand Prix. Or was it Wingish? I can't remember now, but I'll have a look at these stats as Dusty Fakes has left the session, although he just had the fast up the Grand Prix. He's in P7 so far, so I suspect that's an internet problem for him. Alpine need the points, especially Dusty Fakes running 4th in the championship, I think. Let's have a quick peep through instead of guessing, because don't want to give you the guys the wrong information. So let's have a look. Dusty Fakes is running 2nd in the championship, under pressure from Wingish. Wingish is behind him, but Dusty Fakes has left the session, so immediately needs to get back in if he wants to keep P2 away. Somebody just messaged me there. I think it was a driver, trying to have a look to see who it was. Can't quite tell who it was who just messaged me there, so whoever just messaged me, it was a driver from this lobby. I can't see it because my Discord doesn't load effectively. But look at the gap he's brought down. Dusty Fakes. No, that's not him. Sorry, I thought he was the one that caused the yellow flags. But Wingish, where Logan Sargent crashed last year, has lost. He's wingless now, is Wingish. I've been wanting to make that joke for a long time. Sorry, I raced with him in another league, and I've been wanting to make that joke for a long time. I don't race with him, sorry. I commentate over him in a different league as well, so I know who he is, and he's an IRT driver too. So I do support him, unbiasedly of course. I'm unbiased towards the stream, but I do support him because he's part of my old team. Dusty might want an invite. Let me try and invite him conveniently before anything else happens. I'll invite him after turn 1 because I want to watch why I can overtake Wisburn, which he does. So Dusty Fakes. Let me just try and memorize his PSN. ST is a capital letters. Oh, Dusty Fake, as you could see, crossplay is on for me, so I can't invite him as I like to, but Dusty Fakes has rejoined the session, and he can join his car back again. And Pink Kai has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 14th place, and Dusty Fakes has left again, unfortunately. So fighting with his internet there, unfortunately for the Alpine driver. Dylan is now taking advantage of him, puts himself up to P9, but look at Crossfire now, gains so much time. Now he's in the back of Mulkalai. These two back together once again, but albeit on different tyre strategies. Crossfire pitted under the second safety car because he broke his wing, but made his way through the field very aggressively, but cleanly. All those overtakes he did was fantastic. It's a shame he got caught up in those safety car shenanigans. And here we are. Nope, he won't go through, of course. The DRS pass will happen for him. His aim is to break that 3-second deficit. I think it is a 3-second tablet, so let me just go and check. 10 seconds! Oh my goodness me, so he won't get a podium. And here comes Crossfire up into P2. Puts himself ahead, so I don't think a 10-second gap can be broken. I don't think he... Well, let's see. Is it speed another safety car? Let me go check for him. Crossfire, where are you? Severe collision with Zetu, so could that be removed if it's... Zetu's fault? I'm not quite sure actually. Although Zetu gets a 3-second tablet now. Was that during the safety car period? I don't think it was because Zetu wasn't in that bunch when they caught up that second safety car. Oh, it's a shame for Crossfire there. Good pace, but got caught out by a severe collision. Not quite sure whose fault it was, but Dusty Fakes has rejoined once again. He's dropped outside the top 10 in 11th place. Alpine unfortunately suffering bad luck as Wingish has gone for a spin again. There he is then. I think he's broke his rear wing because he can't keep spinning this much. Surely broke his rear wing because he can't be spinning that much, sure. Let me go on board with him to see how he takes the corner because I could tell if someone's broke their rear wing or not. Seems okay there. He did go flat out on the exit of 130R. Quite sure why he keeps spinning there, but he's very cautious going in towards the final 2 corners. The first sector will tell us if the rear wing of that Sauber is broken. Wisburn, however, there's his teammate right in front of him, looking to go for a move. Here he is. Oops, sorry about that. Let me go back on board. Wisburn is up as a P4, and the Williams goes off the track. It's a 3-second time penalty for Wyken there. I think it was a clean move from the Sauber, but the Williams run himself off the road, and now he's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. Wisburn on YouTube could be on the podium for Sauber, and when he spun again. So for those wondering, I use the spectator mode to go on board with drivers, and I couldn't use it because every time somebody joins the session it's glitched, so I got to fix it again. The Wingish has spun again, so I suspect he has broken his rear wing. Trying to survive literally for the Sauber drivers. Every point counts, of course. It looks a bit tentative going in the corners there. But here he is then, Wyken. Right to the back of Wisburn on YouTube. So Wisburn will get a podium, so will Mulkalai. So the Sauber can enjoy his result there, get to the podium. I think he started outside the top 10 as an Alpine. That's Williams, so he's gone for a spin. That's Pink Eye for the second time has broke his wing, and if a safety car comes out, well, that'll put a dent in Crossfire's race because all the pack will be bunched up again. As we exit the final 2 corners, the Triumvirate chicane, if it's called that. I get reminded so many times what the chicane's called, but for some reason I can't put it in my head. It does begin with T, but I can't remember what it's called, so apologies if I do pronounce it wrong. No disrespect, of course, but the Sauber in the background defending. We're on board with Crossfire and Mulcahy. Mulcahy doesn't have to fight, as Viking puts himself up into P4. There is 2 laps left to go in this race. One eventful race this was. Plenty of collisions, plenty of things happening in this Grand Prix. Plenty of drama, and that's what Suzuka has to offer you. Here is the man in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, or shorts for V-Carb. He's doing a fantastic job so far. Multiple race winner last season as well, and the season before. Picked up so many wins in a row. Looked unstoppable, even though he started in last place a few times. Still made his way to the wheel. What does it take to stop Rosé from winning races? I would love to say something, but I'll say it anyway. Probably me. No, I'm joking, but yeah, he's done a fantastic job. Is Rosé. Here he is then, up the inside, but he can't quite make it. Rosé, I do remember him from years ago now. Did he change his PSN? Was he somebody else at the time? I'm trying to think. Who was he before he called himself Rosé? I got to remember now. I think I raced him a long time ago. He does seem familiar. Here comes Dusty Fakes up the inside into Spoon. Nice move up the inside there. Gets ahead of Stravatza. I think I remember him from years ago because the name is so familiar. We were probably in a championship fight a few years ago. Mulcahy's up to P2. If I remember, was he teammates with Carlsberg? And here comes the Sauber on the outside. The Sauber doesn't need to risk these type of moves. He needs to overtake him cleanly. And there's a switchback. Lovely switchback. He puts himself up into P4 now ahead of the Williams. Although the Williams is trying to stick around the outside there. They can't quite make it stick as the Sauber stays in P4. The Sauber is such a dead team now, isn't it? Unfortunately for them. Remember the BMW days, BMW Sauber, when Nick Heifeld and Robert Kubica, those two were excellent drivers. Quick Nick and the Polishman of Robert Kubica, who scored his first win of the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a shame what Sauber has become, but luckily for them, they become Audi in 2026. 0 points. So Valtteri Bottas could fall down to 23rd in the championship. Wingish has gone for a spin again, because Liam Lawson, Oliver Behrman, and Franco Colapinto, and Logan Sargent, of course. I think that Valtteri Bottas could fall down to 23rd. It's a shame for Bottas what he became, finishing second in the Mercedes, the runner-up in his time at Mercedes, I think back in 2020, and now falling down to 23rd if Liam Lawson's going to score good results or try and get in the points in the last 6 races. Bottas does deserve better, but yeah, it's the way things go sometimes in Formula 1. And here comes Raikkonen now up the inside of Wisburn on YouTube. It happens to Kimi Raikkonen. And here comes Crossfire now, overtaking Mulcahy, puts himself up into P2. But we know he's not going to finish there because he's got a 10-second time penalty. And here comes now Wisburn, but he doesn't decide to go for an overtake till way later. But yeah, it also happened to Kimi Raikkonen when he was a top running team for Ferrari. Then dropped down to Alfa Romeo Sauber. 2019 wasn't so bad, but 2020 and 2021 was poor from the Alfa Romeo team, which is still Sauber now, because Valtteri Bottas replaced him after Raikkonen left. Dusty Fakes is ahead of Dylan. Last time Sauber were good, and there's a few people that slowed down in the last set to there, which is Wingish and Bloodpool. Wisburn now is ahead of Mulcahy, puts himself up into P3. What's happened to Mulcahy? He's dropped on the podium. What's happened to him? He hasn't got a puncher. There's no way these Haas have got a puncher. He's dropped out of the podium. But he'll get it still. It looks like he's struggling there. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. There's no puncher. He was in P2 one team, but something has happened to him. He'll still get the podium due to Raikkonen's 3-second time penalty. But I'm not quite sure what on earth. Is he running a wheel? Did his wheel disconnect for a few moments there? Because he was in AI. Obviously, he won't run in AI for no reason. But we go back on board with Rosé. Here he is there for the 3rd time in a row. He wins the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. Fantastic drive. He kept out of trouble and made his way through without any incidents. Crossfire will finish in 2nd, but Raikkonen will get that. Here comes Raikkonen across the line now to finish in 2nd place, I believe it is. No, 3rd still. As Crossfire finishes in P4. Mulcahy is back at the podium. Wisburn will get P2. Wykin dropped down to 6th place there as Pink Eye picked himself up a 10-second time penalty towards the end of this race there. So this Japanese Grand Prix has ended with Rosé on top, again keeping out of trouble. And there is the finishman finishing in 15th place, unfortunately, there for Wingish. I do believe he's broke his rear wing, but full respect, keep going, because if I broke my rear wing, I would have retired by now. But you got to keep going, and there he is then, spinning through the corners. He didn't even apply the brakes there. You could definitely tell that rear wing is broken. Just waiting for him to cross the line to end this lobby, and we can move on then. The next race, we move to the other side of the world at the Australian Grand Prix, usually a season opener, which it is next year. And should be good racing around Australia because we've got 4 DRS zones as he's crashed in the wall. That's where Kuruka actually spun as well and saved the car beautifully in 130R back in 2011. Yeah, I think Wisburn is a shot for the driver of the day, I think. He's done a fantastic job as well in the Salvo. But the Australian Grand Prix is the next race then. Can anybody challenge this man, which is Rosé? I'm trying to remember what his name was before Rosé, because he does seem very familiar as somebody I might have raced with against the past. Thank you very much for watching this race. It's been an absolute pleasure, and all these guys here as well, the 15 drivers in this lobby. Unlucky to some people got caught out by a safety car, and some people should have been a chance to win, but they're probably a bit too impatient with picking up the throttle too early or being optimistic with their moves. But the guys who were the cleanest and consistent finished inside the top 3. Congratulations to everybody. Crossfire, despite his second pit stop, dropping towards the back end of the field, still finished in P4 at the end of the race, so not too bad for him. Wisburn says, let's go Wiz from Wiz. Right then, I'll see you all later. It's been a pleasure to commentate with you again, and I'll be back with you for the Australian Grand Prix next Thursday at 7:30. Goodbye for now and have a good weekend. Love you all.